If I were to criticize my own party, it would say, could you please stay away from border security? It really annoys me. It really annoys me because I think we have already shown to an excessive point border security. I think too much investment has been done under that topic, under that guise. And to me, it's more to appease that other side. I see immigration, the whole situation of immigration, it's a good question. I see it as an opportunity that nobody has really tapped. And this is how. I think, okay, here's this big boogeyman called immigration. Let's take it apart. We need to know and study about how immigration has impacted and impacts the DACA recipients. That's a whole different ballgame than somebody who presents for asylum. I know, because I've read it, we need to adjust the times with what it means to seek asylum. That's only natural that it should be adjusted. It's 2024. That was written way back when. So it needs to be adjusted. So, but aside from those big policies, the reason why I say there's opportunity in a positive view of immigration is jobs. It can stimulate education because we need attorneys. It can stimulate jobs because you need to invest in maybe some processing centers and maybe some places where people come in and you need attorneys. I see it as a gateway for our own progress if we were more geared to planning that way. So if a person crosses the border and they come in and let's say the paperwork is okay, they come in. And then, but with that said, the side note on that is we have to be consistent. We have to be consistent. The lack of consistency has been more detrimental to the United States. And of course, the people who suffer are the mothers and children that are trying to come and seek of a better life, whatever that means. Who are we to say, oh, you couldn't make it or can't make it in your country, so you're coming over here to make it? Yes, yes, what's wrong with that? I compare it to a lot of what they call themselves expats, and I've started to use the term immigrant for all of those people who are living abroad, all of the U.S. citizens living abroad in our case. Why did they move? Well, they moved because they can't afford the health care in the United States. So that tells me we got to fix health care. You see what I'm saying? There are opportunities here. And if we start changing their mind, there's opportunities for job, education. We need attorneys. Well, then offer programs for folks the young people to go in and study to become an attorney, specializing in immigration. Have the professors and people way smarter than me to build a program that gears them to help people to process the immigration. To me, it's not rocket science. It's just a focus that we worry about. As far as people always talking about the drug problem, the people who are crossing the border for drugs are coming from the United States into Mexico, getting their drugs and bringing it back across. That is the drug problem. The drug problem is that they exist. There's cartels. Well, then that calls for international, again, education, international relations specifically for this, and that can be put in place. But we know statistically that's not happening. So what we do, unfortunately, we have a history of the easy answer is, well, here's weapons, here's security, here's all this money, just try to fix it, pick a country. Whereas if it was more thought out and put in place, then maybe we could address that. We also know statistically the drugs are not coming in from across the land border. It's coming in, I'm sorry, it's coming in through airports. And it's also coming in through the mail system. So again, so then we got a problem at the airports and we got a problem in the mail system. And I like to point out again that it is not an immigrant who is doing this. It is a U.S. citizen who is bringing, statistically, more than anybody else. So that's kind of a roundabout way of trying to touch all these points. Yes, we do need to look at the asylum process and update it. But again, it goes back to what I first said. Who are we to say you can't come over, you know, to do a better life? But I also know and recognize and understand that a person from a war-torn country seeking asylum is different than the person who is seeking for economic opportunity. But it doesn't mean that either one of them should be penalized. On the contrary, we will benefit. Establish a committee to look into how to address asylum. They did it with the DACA. Now they finally said, but then in that, they stepped on their toes. They stepped all over themselves because they say, well, you can be processed as DACA, you can get your citizenship if, and then they go down the line and put all these blocks. And that's what our immigration system is yes, we are a welcoming nation, but wait. If you're a tourist, you can come and stay so much time. And if you overstay, nobody really cares, depending on where you're from. Yes, you can marry a U.S. citizen and come live in this country and be on your pathway, but there's always that but. Yes, you came here and you had a child, whatever reason you were here, and so now you have pathway to citizenship, but, you know, and it's that but that screws up everything.